Wait, if performance was good, why would they leave? Last month, an agency owner told me we cut their cost per lead in half, but they still canceled. Why clients are firing agencies even when ads are working? That's what we're talking about today. Welcome back, everybody. It's me, Ozzy, and
Zach.
And together we've built multiple businesses, including Advirtis, where we've helped 300 marketing agencies scale smarter, grow faster, and escape the chaos that most agency owners get stuck in. In each episode, we're going to break down real conversations by agency owners. These conversations around things like sales, operations, hiring, scaling, leadership, the wins, the failures, all of it. And today we're talking about why clients are firing their agencies even when ads are working. Zach, you love this one.
Yep. Because this is on the op side of the business, right? This is after the client comes through. This is after work has been done. We're usually like 6 to 8 months already into the relationship, seeing good results. And probably from the title of the video, you probably think, oh, it has something stupid to do with, artificial intelligence, AI, large language models, ChatGPT, the government, whatever it is, whatever excuse you want to bring up. And that's just not true. Those are extenuating circumstances that are happening that do need to be accounted for, that we have talked about in other videos. But I promise you, agency owner, that maybe makes up 10% of the reason why a client would fire you even after delivering good results. Honestly, it's such a small part, a tenth of the reason why they would fire you. And the good news is, while that sucks, the good news is that you can do something to change it. You can do something to stop it. You do not have to just say, well, the client just didn't like our work and so they just moved on. You can actually make your business better. You can make retention better. You can make your clients happier. You can win and grow and scale. And that's what we want to help you to do.
It's funny because I think we see this happen more commonly with more established agency owners, agencies who've been in business for 5+ years, doing 7 figures, in annual revenue. It seems to happen across these bigger agencies more. And I mean, we probably see it, once or twice a month, on average. And a lot of the newer partners that are coming on, they are, sharing that that's the reason why they're coming on, is because of the issues that they're running into with their current ads team or their current SEO team, whatever it is. And they're like, I don't have the time to go out and hire because I need solutions now, or I'm going to lose this client, or this client is gone and we don't have the revenue to maintain this team, whatever it is. It is because they churned a client, and it wasn't due to performance. It was due to plug in, customer service here, or plug in,
or bad reporting here, or bad onboarding there, or lack of account management here, or lack of customer success there. And you're absolutely right, Ozzy. Is mostly due to a felt loss of performance on the marketing agency side. Marketing agencies, remind you, one of the few business models where you are not only judged off of the work that you do, campaign setup, right? Keyword research, ad copy, ad creative, strategy, but you're also judged on the performance of the work. So you do all this work to get an ad account, a campaign launched, and then you have to make sure that the work that you do actually performs. That you spend $1 of Meta's ads and then you get $5 back on behalf of the client, right? That's the goal. That's why marketing agencies exist. So if you are unsuccessfully failing at bringing all this work to the client, and the client feels like there's missed meetings, missed deadlines, zero communication, no wins recorded in the first 90 days, bad onboarding, right? Even though the ads are doing well, and even though the ads that are launched are fine, as soon as they feel like that they have a off week, or they feel like all the leads that they've been getting are just dead leads, all of a sudden they're thinking, the marketing's bad. I don't like the marketing. And guess who's on the chopping block?
Yeah, that's true. It's funny you say that. A really good, I can already see an example of this. So first impressions matter. And when you're onboarding, you could have these steps down to a T, but if your team has done it so much, but they forget that it doesn't necessarily matter that you've structured this perfectly. It's how you deliver it to the end client. If they don't understand, then it does not matter. And that's the funny thing. It's like an example that you just said was imagine your whole team builds these ads out perfectly. They're overperforming. They're doing great. However, your team is 5 minutes late to the call. They're not prepared for the call. They don't have anything to present in regards to what has been wins. Then that client is already putting that saying, hey, look, they're showing up late to the call. They're not prepared for the call. It's very obvious. Like that stuff matters. And
Yeah.
it's funny. I'm going to talk about Advirtis for a second because when we first started the company, guys, listen to this. This is funny. Jack and I we basically, as we've grown Advirtis, we have basically kind of fired ourselves from the roles as we kind of worked our way up to, CEO and COO. Funny enough, there was a moment in time when it was just Zach and I and maybe two other people in the business, and we were selling. We were the ones educating and doing the client calls, et cetera. And I'll never forget this one specific agency partner we were onboarding as a partner. Zach is like in the weeds. I mean, I'm talking like gibberish. I don't even understand what he's talking about. And this client goes, did he just speak like French? Does anyone else understand what he said? Like, what is going on? And I just had to be like a business analyst in the call and just be like, hey, listen, this is exactly what he means. And it just reminds me of this moment because I think it's common with marketers specifically, especially at the high end agency who've been in business for 10 plus years. They know everything about marketing. They just want to get as much of that knowledge, and they see that as value, which they're not wrong. But if that other person, that client on the other end doesn't understand the value you're giving them, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. You can say, hey, we create all these campaigns for you, and we also segmented each one with A/B testing, and we also created different variables and hooks in our copy and our creative, and we also created all these landing pages. And that sounds like really impressive work, but not to the end client. The end client's like, so that's what you had to do just to get me more leads, just to get me more sales. That's great. I mean, I appreciate that. I paid you for that, marketing agency owner, but is it going to perform? Like what, how is that going to work out well? Is it not? And if they don't trust that it's going to perform, or they don't trust that it's performing, even with all the KPIs, key performance indicators, right? And all the return on ad spend, it'll mean nothing. And that client will churn because they don't understand the wins that are shared with them, right? It doesn't translate into real dollars and cents for them for their business.
Also, it's worth mentioning, it's like, I think a bigger agency, you see this more common with bigger clients as well, where
Mhm.
they feel the need to like really bring this high level, like, or not high level, really in the weeds. They should be more high level, like technically,
Yeah.
but
Right.
essentially that's what they're doing is they are trying to fluff up that conversation because they feel like that's necessary because this client pays $50,000 a month. I'm going to tell you from my experience, and I guarantee you from your experience, if I can speak on behalf of you, Zach, I think that more common than not, that client that's paying 50K a month, they get on a call, it's 5 to 10 minutes, and they're like, just cut the BS and get me right to the analytics that I want to see.
Yep.
And, what did you do? Why did it work? Exactly, et
Yep.
cetera. And
Yep.
there's a balance
Exactly.
that you have to hold though. And I think this is the part that's the relationship part, right? Because this part is like, okay, analytics, cool. But the relationship part is where a lot of marketers fail. And I think the relationship part is, like we have Alan on our team who can get into any call and make anybody laugh.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you just like working with the guy. Like he's just a good guy to work with. Like there's still this camaraderie. It goes back to this personal touch. And, we talked about in our last episode about AI and how it's actually enhancing like agencies who have a great personality as a culture. It's really bringing that to the forefront in these relationships and the account management side. And
Yep.
some agencies just don't have that, man. Like they just don't.
Yeah, they just don't. You're right. They don't have that. Or in our case, talking on the white label side, not the direct client side, we had an agency partner who fired their team of 20 ad specialists. It was a
Mm,
team of 20. You got ad specialists, paid media specialists, different platforms, different vendors with managers, direct, the whole nine yards, right? And they replaced them with Advirtis. And you think, wow, that's really extreme. Why would they do that? Well, I can tell you that the ad accounts, the performance was good. Actually, they were getting leads. This was a large agency that was doing 20 mil plus, and they were getting good leads for their clients. It was high end, large regional or nationwide service-based industries, and they were getting those ads to perform. Here's the problem: the trust was broken with their ads team when they found out that for a while their ads team was actually deleting client
Mm,
keyword data
that's
out
right.
of those ad accounts, and you can't recover that. Once that's deleted, right? Because it's just maybe an underperforming keyword or maybe the seasonality's off, whatever the reason is, you can't get that back. So that agency partner lost trust in basically the entire ads team. And that agency partner was faced with a couple decisions, right? I can either go out and fire half my current ads team and rehire 10 people and hope that the ads that I'm currently running for all my clients keep going and running well, right? And spend all my time just rehiring these people. Or I can leverage a white label agency like Advirtis, and Advirtis can be my entire paid media team, right? And
Yeah.
that's what they ended up choosing. So we put in our team of people directly into their business, and we were the ones managing the execution, right? And the performance. And then they got to manage more of the relationship with the client and actually ended up extending the lifetime customer value of all their clients and reducing churn overall because they had people who understand the ads. Great, they can do that. But those people also had skills in communicating wins and doing customer success and account management with the end clients, while they relied on Advertis, a white label partner, to actually optimize the ad accounts, update the ad accounts, switch out offers, switch out creatives, switch out landing pages, switch out keywords, go in and find alternate strategies, A/B test, the whole 9 yards. And it was very interesting because even though the ad campaigns were built out well, humans are still humans and trust will still be lost. And you, as an agency owner, kind of need to have a backup plan, right? Because things could be fine, but you're one email away from a client firing you, right?
Mm,
And you are going to need a backup, or you're one email away from a client saying, I don't like how Jim Bob over there just spoke to me the other day because he had a bad day, right?
mm.
People are unpredictable, and this is a service-based business.
Yeah, and I think, with that agency in particular, speed mattered a lot. And I think that's more common because even our sales team is, and this will probably be a whole other episode, but we can talk about how we help our partners diversify by having a pipeline of actual deals, right? And
Yes.
I think, that agency specifically, they needed speed. And you listen, you agency owners, speed matters a ton when it comes to sales and retention.
Yep.
And I have this philosophy that with our team, that if you have an upset client, in my experience throughout my career, when I had a client that was upset, more likely than not, it was a moment, it was a buying window, or it was a chance for me to show up for them. And that opportunity, when it presents itself, if you don't jump, if you don't move, big mistake, big,
Yep.
big mistake, because this is your moment. And when you build that trust and when you have the opportunity to build that trust, execute. And nothing
Yep.
should stand in your way. Nothing. And that's what that agency did. They executed. They said, this client may fire us. They're paying us $1 million a month plus. If we lose them, that's a third of our revenue every month. We have to fire this team anyways.
Yep.
So they leveraged their resources. They tried out 20 other white label vendors.
Yeah, they did.
They finally got to us. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus, that they found us, because it was a big miracle for us too. But it's very much in the sense of like, we were there to support their beck and call as they needed. We moved quick enough. We had to execute, and we did everything we could to make sure that they were taken care of. The customer
Hmm.
service side of it mattered more than anything else. And we're still partnering with them to this day. And that
Yep.
was years ago. But all that to say, if I remember correctly, that agency, they were doing this for a temporary amount of time because they wanted to bring it, internally back in. But I mean, we've been partnered with them since. So it just says everything. But all that to
Yep.
say, it's like at the end of the day, that is super important. And that's something AI is not going to fix, something AI is not going to replace.
Right.
And why it matters to have the right white label agency or right process in the case something like that happens, or even focusing on retention itself, having an SOP in place for your team to know exactly what to do next. Right.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other episode too. We got lots of
Yeah, I
those.
think that is a whole other episode too, talking about SOPs for onboarding or pissed off clients. But you're not wrong. I mean, every client will get pissed off by something, right? And if if your team is just kind of used to just like when they get pissed off, just stepping back and just thinking to themselves, I hope they're happier tomorrow. I hope they're happier during our next meeting. You've already lost because when an agency client is pissed off, one of two things happens. Either, and it's a fork in the road, I promise you, either they're going to double down and trust you because you've worked your butt off to make whatever the thing that was made wrong to make it right, right? And they know that yes, mistakes will happen, but you're actually going to go to bat for me. You're going to work extra hard to earn my business and keep my business. I rather have that every day of the week than somebody that I've never met. Or you're going to do nothing. If you do nothing, they're going to go way over here and they're just going to leave and they're going to quiet quit. They're going to quiet fire you. They're not going to be as engaged in phone calls. They might not show up as much. They may not respond to your Slack messages. And then you find out, oh no, there's another agency in the ad account. Wow. They're getting another quote from a competitor that's probably going to steal our business because that trust has been lost. Again, we're not even talking about performance, right? We're just talking about missed deadlines, misspellings in ads. We're talking about wrong creatives and graphics. There's a whole host of mistakes that can happen, right? That has nothing to do with performance. But if you don't have a back end system that you can trust and rely on, you need to get one. You have to get one, right? And if for whatever reason you feel like your current ads guy is overwhelmed, then you need to get your ads guy a team. And that's where getting a white label agency can really move the needle.
Yep.
You know, then
That's
your ads guy can worry about the higher level stuff. He can manage your ads team, and then your ads guy and you can focus more on relationship management. And that's where the magic of retention really comes in.
precisely. And I think that's why a lot of these agencies partner with us, is because we already have these proven built-in systems that we're just plugging into their agency. The
Yep.
traditional white label method was you just call on this vendor when you have something that you need done and
Yep.
you move it forward. Well, with the vanity of AI and technology today, that has changed. Actually, I, I'm not going to say, I think Advirtis has a lot to do with some of this, with us raising the bar on what it means to white label
Yep.
over the last 5 years. But we are plugging our team into the agency, plugging all of our SOPs, our processes, our back end automation set up throughout our team internally into that team so they can focus on the relationship, the retention, the sales, the business aspect of the agency. And I
Yep.
think that's the part where if you want to stop worrying so much about your clients firing you, even when your performance is working right, like your performance is good, then as Zach said, find a process, put that process into your agency. It could take you a few years to figure it out, or you can partner with a white label agency, a premium white label agency that already has it built out for 7, 8, and 9 figure plus agencies, and just plug into it.
Yep.
And that's it. But guys, thank you so much. We're so excited. We keep seeing our subscribers grow. We're past 800 now, or really close to 800. So thank you so much.